Imagine walking down the sun-drenched aisle of your favorite grocery store, reaching for a golden bottle of honey that promises pure, raw, and unfiltered goodness. You see the label 100% pure and feel a sense of security, believing you are bringing home nature's liquid gold. But what if the golden liquid inside that plastic bear is more likely to be a laboratory concocted syrup than anything produced by a bee? What if the very bottle you trust, with its boldest claims, is actually the centerpiece of a multi-billion-dollar global fraud? This is the dark reality of the honey industry. A world where 100% pure is often a 100% lie, and where the nectar of the gods has been replaced by cheap industrial sugar. The honey you pour over your morning. Oatmeal might look right and taste sweet, but beneath that familiar amber glow lies a complex web of honey, laundering, and chemical manipulation. For years, investigators have been sounding the alarm on honey, a product stripped of its soul, filtered until no trace of its origin remains, and diluted with syrups derived from corn, rice, or beets. This isn't just a minor labeling error. It is a sophisticated criminal enterprise designed to undercut honest beekeepers and deceive health-conscious consumers. As we peel back the layers of this sticky deception, we find that some of the most recognizable names on the shelf have been caught in the crosshairs of lawsuits and laboratory testing that tell a very different story than their marketing departments. To understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we must look at the brands that have faced the most scrutiny. We are going to count down the most controversial players in the honey world, starting with the broad category of generic deception and ending with the brand that has become the face of the raw honey controversy. This journey isn't just about exposing bad actors. It's about reclaiming the truth. For your health and your kitchen, starting at number 5, we have the ubiquitous generic store brands. Whether it's the budget-friendly options at massive retailers like Walmart or Target, these bottles are often the first choice for families looking to save a few dollars. However, a landmark study by Food Safety News revealed a shocking statistic. Nearly 76% of honey sold in U.S. grocery stores isn't technically honey at all. Why? Because it lacks pollen. In the world of food safety, pollen is the fingerprint of honey. It tells us where the honey came from and what flowers the bees visited. When a brand uses ultra-filtration to remove every single speck of pollen, they aren't just making the honey clearer. They are erasing its identity. This process is frequently used to hide the fact that the honey was sourced from countries with poor safety standards or to mask the addition of cheap sweeteners. When you buy a generic bottle that has been processed into oblivion, you aren't getting the enzymes, antioxidants, or health benefits of real honey. You're getting a dead, sugary liquid that has been stripped of its biological value. Moving to number 4, we encounter the shadowy world of imported honey laundering. This isn't a single brand, but rather a massive network of suppliers, often originating from China and India, who flood the global market with adulterated products. These suppliers have mastered the art of creating syrups that mimic the chemical profile of honey so closely that standard tests can't even detect them. They use honey laundering techniques, shipping their fake products through third-party countries like Malaysia or Vietnam to bypass tariffs and safety inspections. By the time this honey reaches a reputable-looking bottle on your shelf, it has been mixed, matched, and manipulated. This global syrup trade is so profitable that it has been compared to the narcotics trade in its complexity and ruthlessness. It drives honest local beekeepers out of business because they simply cannot compete with the price of industrial rice syrup masquerading as wildflower nectar. At number 3, we find a giant of the industry, Sioux Bee Honey, produced by the Sioux Honey Association. As one of the oldest and largest honey cooperatives in America, Sioux Bee is a household name. However, even this titan hasn't been immune to the sting of controversy. Sioux Bee has been named in class action, lawsuits alleging that their products contain significant amounts of non-honey sweeteners like corn syrup. The irony is thick. A company that prides itself on its heritage and its network of American beekeepers was accused of selling a product that was anything but pure. While the company has fought these claims, the mere existence of such high-profile litigation highlights a systemic issue. When honey is processed on such a massive industrial scale, the pressure to maintain low prices often leads to compromises that the consumer never sees. The 100% pure label on a sous bee bottle became a point of legal contention, forcing us to ask if any mass-produced honey can truly be trusted. Coming in at number 2 is Honey Queen, a brand often associated with bulk retailers like Costco. Costco is generally known for its high standards and quality control, which is why the allegations against Honey Queen were so jarring for many shoppers. Lawsuits claimed that laboratory testing found evidence of adulteration, suggesting that the honey was being stretched with cheaper syrups to meet the high-volume demands of bulk consumers. This is the bulk trap. When a brand needs to supply millions of gallons of honey at a rock-bottom price, the temptation to supplement the supply becomes immense. For the consumer, buying a giant jug of honey feels like a great deal. But if that jug is filled with diluted syrup, the savings come at the cost of your health and the integrity of your food. The Honey Queen controversy served as a wake-up call that even premium bulk retailers aren't always safe from the reach of food fraud. Finally, at number 1, we reach the brand that has become the ultimate symbol of this controversy. Nature Nates. If you've looked at the honey shelf recently, you've seen their bright orange caps and their rustic, all-natural branding. They claim to be 100% pure, raw and unfiltered, a trifecta of promises that appeals to every health-conscious buyer. But Nate's has been the target of intense legal battles and scientific scrutiny. Lawsuits have alleged that their honey is not raw at all, but has been heated to high temperatures that destroy the very enzymes and nutrients that make honey valuable. High levels of a chemical called HMF were found in testing, which is a clear indicator of excessive heating. Furthermore, the brand faced a massive blow when its OU kosher certification was withdrawn due to what were described as serious violations. When the most popular raw honey brand in the country is accused of being neither raw nor pure, it exposes the massive gap between marketing and reality. Nature Nates represents the pinnacle of the 100% fake illusion, a product that looks perfect on the outside but fails the most basic tests of authenticity on the inside. So, if the most famous brands are failing us, where does that leave the consumer? Is real honey a myth? Fortunately, the answer is no. Real honey still exists, but finding it requires moving away from the flashy labels and toward brands that prioritize transparency and traditional beekeeping. To find the real deal, you need to look for brands that use advanced testing, like nuclear magnetic resonance, NMR, which can detect even the most sophisticated syrups. One of the most respected names in the industry is YS Eco Bee Farms. They have built a reputation on providing truly raw, organic honey that retains its natural creamy texture and complex flavor profile. Unlike the clear, liquid syrups of the big brands YS Eco, bee honey often looks cloudy or solid, a natural state for real honey that hasn't been overprocessed. Another excellent choice is Local Hive. Instead of blending honey from unknown global sources, Local Hive focuses on regional wildflower honeys from across the United States. They provide traceability, allowing you to know exactly which part of the country your honey came from. This support for local beekeepers is one of the best ways to ensure you are getting a genuine product. If you are looking for the medicinal benefits of honey, brands like Wetherspoon offer high-quality Manuka honey from New Zealand. They use a transparent grading system to ensure you are getting the potency you pay for. For those who want everyday honey that is truly traceable, Busy Bee has made significant strides in showing consumers exactly where their honey originates. And finally, there is Sans Honey, a brand that has remained committed to unfiltered and unheated honey for generations, proving that you don't need modern chemical manipulation to create a delicious product. The lesson here is simple. In a world of industrial food, the label is often a mask. 100% pure has become a marketing term rather than a scientific fact. To protect yourself, you must become a detective in the grocery aisle. Look for honey that is thick, cloudy, or even crystallized. Real honey doesn't stay liquid forever. It changes and carries the essence of the flowers it came from. Avoid the crystal clear, ultra-cheap bottles that look more like maple syrup than bee nectar. The honey industry is at a crossroads. As consumers, our power lies in our choices. When we stop buying honey, and start supporting beekeepers, who respect the craft. We force the industry to change. The next time you reach for that golden bottle, remember the story of the 100% fake illusion. Don't let a pretty label deceive you. Demand the truth, seek out real artisans, and rediscover what it means to taste the pure, unadulterated nectar of nature. Your health, the bees, and the truth are worth the effort. Real honey is a miracle of nature. Don't settle for a laboratory's imitation.